point of intersection of two lines. So we have, let's say, two lines. This is the point of intersection. So let's say this is L1, L2, and we want to figure out the coordinates of this point of intersection. Let's say L1 is A1x plus B1y plus C1 equal to 0. L2 is A2x plus B2y plus C2 equal to 0. Now, if L1 and L2, they intersect each other, that means what? There is a point which is common to both of them, and that point is this. Point of intersection is common to both of them. So let point of intersection be x1, y1. So which means a1 x1 plus b1 y1 plus c1 is equal to 0, and a2 x1 plus b2 y1 plus c2 equal to 0. That's what this means. This line at this point and this line at this point are common, have some commonality at this point. So which means this is like a simultaneous linear equation. So solve the simultaneous linear equation. Okay, now one of the ways in which we can solve it is the cross multiplication method. We can use other methods as well. There are many methods, and this is something which we have already learned. So x1, y1 and 1, b1, c1, b1, b2, c1, c2, a1, a2, and finally b1, b2. Now, how did we write this? We left the x coefficient, we wrote the b's, then c's, then a's, and then we repeated b's. Okay, now we do something like this. So that becomes the numerator x1, y1 and 1, and we do the cross multiplication. So this becomes x1 by b1 c2 minus c1 b2 is equal to y1 by c1 a2 minus a1 c2 is equal to 1 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1. Okay, so now what we do is we take up these two first and then we take up these two. So x1 by b1 c2 minus c1 b2 is equal to 1 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1, which basically implies, if we take the denominator to the other side, x1 is equal to b1 c2 minus c1 b2 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1. Similarly, y1 by c1 a2 minus a1 c2 is equal to 1 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1, which implies y1 is equal to c1 a2 minus a1 c2 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1. So point of intersection is b1 c2 minus c1 b2 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1, comma c1 a2 minus a1 c2 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1. Okay, now you might be wondering, how did this come? Now, if you are not familiar with the cross multiplication method, let me very quickly show you how it's done. A1x plus B1y plus C1 equal to 0 is one line. A2x plus B2y plus C2 is equal to 0. This is the second line. Let's use the elimination method. Let's multiply this by A2 and let's multiply this by A1. So what do we get? We get A1 A2x plus A2 B1y plus A2 C1 equal to 0. And here we get A1 A2x plus A1 B2y plus A1 C1 equal to 0. Now let's subtract. So this becomes minus, this becomes minus, this becomes minus. These two get cancelled and we are left with A2 B1 y minus A1 B2 y plus A2 C1 minus A1 C1. This is actually 2. This is 2, so this will be also 2 is equal to 0. Y is common, so A2 B1 minus A1 B2 is equal to A1 C2 minus A2 C1. So Y is equal to A1 C2 minus A2 C1 by A2 B1 minus A1 B2. Remember, this denominator cannot be equal to 0. Now let's bring the numerator from that side to this side. So y by A1 C2 minus A2 C1 is equal to 1 by A2 B1 minus A1 B2. Okay, so now one part is over. Now again let's repeat that exercise. A1x plus B1y plus C1 equal to 0. A2x plus B1 B2y plus C2 is equal to 0. Now this time let's multiply it by B2 and let's multiply this by B1. So we end up with A1 B2 x plus B1 B2 y plus B2 C1 to 0. A2 B1 plus bx b1 b2 y plus b1 c2 equal to 0. And if we minus, this gets cancelled off and we are left with, now here x is common, so we can take it out. A1 b2 minus A2 b1 plus b2 c1 minus B1 C2 equal to 0. A1 B2 minus A2 B1 is equal to B1 C2 minus B2 C1. Let's bring that to this side and this to that side. So x by B1 C2 minus B2 C1 is equal to 1 by A1 B2 minus A2 B1. Now, if you look at this A2 B1, here it is A1 B2, A1 B2, A1 B2. So, if we just change the sign, let's bring in the y equal to also down. So, y by A1 C2 minus C1 A2 is equal to 1 by A2 B1 minus A1 B2. Here the RHS denominators are not same. The signs are different. So let's reverse this. Let's make this as A1 B2. A1 B2 minus A2 B1. Since we reverse the signs, let's take the minus here. Now we want RHS to be equal, so let's remove this minus from here and put it here. and this negative sign somehow doesn't look nice. So we can remove that by exchanging the signs of the denominator here. So this becomes minus and this becomes plus, which means C1A2 minus A1C2. Okay, so now we have RHS are equal. So which means we can write it as X by B1C2 minus B2C1 is equal to Y by C1A2 minus A1C2 is equal to 1 by A1B2 minus A2B1. Now instead of remembering it like this, we come out with this way of trying to figure out. We start off with B. So B1, B2, C1, C2, A1, A2 and B1, B2. Now if you look at it, X by Y by 1 by B1, C2 minus C1, B2, C1, A2 minus A1, C2, A1, B2 minus A2, B1. So this is a way of remembering this formula for solving simultaneous linear equations. This was just a sidebar to show how simultaneous linear equations can be solved using cross multiplication method. What we were interested in is the point of intersection which we derived before. Okay, so that is point of intersection of two lines. That's it for now. Bye.